Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. And it's a beautiful day for the Pirate Broadcast. And today we have a couple of new pirates in the room.
How's it going?
I'm so excited to talk with Dina and Don. Good morning, and how are you two doing today?
We're awesome. How are you doing?
Oh, better than average. You know, I didn't get up this morning to be mediocre. So
No, it's got to be, the bar's way up here.
Exactly. So I'm super excited to talk to you about, well, number one, because you have a background in music and touring and doing lots of incredible things. And also you've written a book recently that helps entrepreneurs out, and you're really focused on giving back to the community. So I want to go back a few years and talk about your music and where you started out and how you got going and kind of the journey. Take us back to the journey and where you started out at.
Oh, thank you. I actually started as a street musician in front of Ripley's Believe It or Not. And I went to California to go to Berkeley. That was what I wanted to do, go to Berkeley University. But when I got there, I realized I wasn't an in-state student. So the cost of going to Berkeley, took me out of the running. So I ended up at City College in San Francisco. And in between classes, a musician friend of mine said, "Hey, why don't we go out and busk?" And I was so terrified. Can you imagine? I think I was 18 at the time.
Wow.
And so we went out there and we started busking. And it was actually being a street musician that really taught me my first lesson in business, right? There are already senior street musicians out there and street performers out there. And there was definitely a pecking order. And if you didn't follow that pecking order, boy, you were in trouble. They muscled you out pretty quickly. We were robbed. So I learned about, not showing your hand, because we had all our money out there thinking that, people are going to think we're great if we have all our money out there. But of course, somebody saw it and decided they wanted it more than we did. Yeah. Anyways, make a long story short, I headed down to San Diego and started my first country rock band. We won a bunch of awards, and an agency out of Minnesota picked us up, and I went on the road with my band out of Southern California. And I lost a guitar and steel player, came back to Phoenix where my parents were located to find a new musician and just kind of take some time out. And that is where I met my current husband of 31 years and awesome lead guitar player, Preston-Ortiz. Thank you. It's been quite a journey.
It has. I mean, I met Dina through her voice first. I was working at Celebrity Theater doing shows there, and my lighting director said, there's this girl named Dina Preston. She's really got a great band. They got lots of contracts, but she's lost 2 players. And you've been saying that you like to get on the road and get, clean that slate and start something new. And he gave me her number, and I heard her cassette, and I thought, wow, this is like Bonnie Raitt meets Melissa Etheridge meets Linda Ronstadt. So 3 key vocals of females there that are trademark vocals in the business. That really hooked me, and here we are 31 years later. Of course,
we literally I broke up my band to go back east with Don and start something new. We literally, by the time we got to Newark, Delaware, had 31 cents in our pocket. We'd taken our gig money when we were traveling across the country, heading back east, and he got a really hefty speeding ticket, I think in Ohio. Pretty much wiped it out.
And as you know, there's toll roads on the East Coast. So the last toll was 50 cents. And we literally had 31 cents. So I wasn't going to throw in the 31 cents and make the little red bell go off, So
we were pirates. We ran the toll.
That's right.
We ran the toll and ended up in Delaware with 31 cents. And 31 years later, we've traveled to 43 countries. I forget sometimes, 26 world tours, and we're now an S Corp. So we started pretty much on the street with an open guitar case. And today we've got a
successful, thriving global business.
Yeah, a good entertainment company, and now
that is an amazing story. I can relate to some of those incidents and activities because I spent years in Seattle and right by the market. I was living by the market.
Yeah.
And the buskers there some of those guys were incredible players, and it's just I used to be in radio up there. So, being around music and being in music and having played music for years, it's just such an art and activity that you just, until you have that experience, you really don't really understand the experience. Because playing on a corner or playing anywhere is just so satisfying to me. And so you've had an incredible life, an incredible experience. Even if you're at 31 cents, you're still, it's like, okay, we can figure this out. We can play something, we can go do something. And, you have the ability and the opportunity to do something and earn some money. To me, that's amazing.
Who would have ever thought through music we would become ambassadors of goodwill for the U.S. State Department, U.S. embassies?
How did that story evolve? How did that story evolve?
We actually started working for the Department of Defense overseas entertainment shows. A friend of ours recommended us. They came out to see us at a corporate event.
Actually, the Pentagon came out to see us.
Yeah, and they decided to pick us up. They came out to see 3 bands, and they came to our corporate gig, and they decided to take us as we were conga lining our clients out down the mountain.
1,200 people down a mountain.
And they decided to take us, and we learned pretty quickly to not only provide good entertainment, but also there was a business end of it. And by then we were already, because we were working with corporations, we already got the business end. And so we did a good job. We were the first, I think, band with a female to go into Bahrain in Desert Storm 1. So we started with Desert Storm 1. Wow. We did embassies because the Marines guard the embassies all over the world. And so we had some work with the embassies, and a Native American group here recommended us. They do all kinds of work for the State Department to go to Azerbaijan and Armenia. There's been a lot of conflict forever. They just had a recent conflict as well. And so our job was to go in there and kind of maybe help
communication start
and promote goodwill
at the table, so
that's how we got picked up for the State Department.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's fantastic. So then you wrote a book. You have a book out right now, and it's about entrepreneurial leadership.
It really is.
And let's talk a little bit about that, because number one, from a musician to an author is a big step. However, it's a great way to kind of bring some of that information and that knowledge and that experience to the table. And so how did you think about that when you just started? Did you want to say, hey, I want to take all this information and put it in a book, and that's how it evolved? Or did you say, let's take and condense some of this information and put it in a book? Or what were your thoughts behind that?
So Don saw this way. So talk about entrepreneurial thinking. Don saw this way before I did. He wanted us, since we were already keynote speaking for the State Department, he wanted us to start doing that privately for corporations, right? We're already doing corporate work as a band. Why not keynote speak as well? And so I got my doctorate in 2010. Later in my life, I became a business professor. And he's like, why are we not utilizing that? The State Department's using it. And I said, Don, nobody wants to hear about our life. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear a book about us. And he's like, no, Dina, we've done some really amazing things. We were flying into Charles de Gaulle when the shoe bomber was flying out of Charles de Gaulle. So just landing at the airport during that time and seeing what was going on and what happened during those experiences. He said people are going to find that interesting, and we can couch, all our business.
Well, we've had a front row seat to history. And been a part of that plan also is being sent in. So with that direction, we were coming back and we're saying why we need to be speaking and making this known. And the book tells the stories, but we also have takeaways after each chapter that you can utilize for your business, your startup today. And as you know, everybody is pivoting and turning. And this is a great way for us to help and also give people insight to what we've been through. So it saves you some, you get to cut some corners there because we've been through a lot of it.
Yeah,
absolutely. I had in the question, Gabe says, what has been the hardest part of the entrepreneurial journey for you guys?
Oh, that's a great
What's the biggest
question.
challenge in the transitions in the movements?
So I think we're at the point now where we don't see, certainly things come in and we're challenged. COVID is a good example of it. 10 years ago, it was a great recession. And so we love what we do so much that we don't see those things as challenges. We see them as opportunities. And I can tell you, when you love what you do, you're able to turn that around. So maybe the first thing I would recommend is that you've got to change your mindset. You can't think of it as a challenge. You have to think of it as a way to switch your business, a way to provide an opportunity, right? So we're live, we make our money doing live entertainment. That's what we do. We've been doing it for 30 years, whether it's speaking or playing professionally. We had to pivot quickly so we get the book out and get our music out there. So when this all came down, right, I think we had 30 gigs canceled, 30 gigs. I mean, that was a ton of money.
Right off the books instantly. Yeah. And then we had also just finished recording our album. Literally, we finished the last mix in February. And so we were like, okay, now we're going to probably have to bump up our product lines. Yeah. We knew we had a book coming out, but let's put the music out first, because people can relate to music and they're listening to music right now more than they ever have. So that came out. Then we started realizing we also had time to put together videos, that we had not been able to do, music videos to go along with our songs. So Dina and I, critiquing all that and putting that together, we saw that we could work on that and jumpstart our book at the same time. So we started working on rolling out product that could be utilized, that people could utilize, and think how they can also pivot in terms, how can we help our community? It was a big deal by putting that book out. And then we also just like to make sure that people have something they can go with.
Yeah, I think it's important to strategize too. As an entrepreneur, I see my students, I call them serial entrepreneurs because they're so creative. They've got a million ideas going on, but they can't bring them to fruition. So you have to strategize. You have to pick one idea and then you have to go with it and strategize. Because remember, business formulas and theories will transfer. It doesn't matter what the product and the line is or the service is, right? The idea is a product life cycle is a PLC. You can use that in a product. You can use that in a theory. You just have to get focused and start moving on it.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that because, I mean, as someone that's been in business, in and out of business and music and, working in the, corporate world, I find it's a balance between creativity and focus.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to focus on, I'm squirrel hunter from day one, it's like, okay, new thing over here. Do I need this new thing over here?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's hard. It's difficult. And we live in such a noisy world that we really have to learn how to balance what our talents are. Like you were saying, you have a lot of talent, you have a lot of stories, you have a lot of information that you can transfer that is actually and directly impacting entrepreneurs at this point in time. A wealth of knowledge. So I applaud you and thank you so much for being here and sharing
Thank you for having me.
Knowledge with the Pirate crew here. So
we're all capitalizing on the unknown right now.
Yeah.
And so and that's our book deals with a lot of that. And that's the incentive to inspire. Really. It really is.
Well, if we can take some of the experience that we've acquired over the years and even our bad experience and transfer that in, it's one of those things that you have to say, hey, here's something I know, here's something I learned. And if you can learn from this or grow from this and at least be aware of it, it's huge. It's a huge opportunity for somebody that hasn't had that experience yet and may not want that experience yet. Like 31 cents. It's like, a similar situation. I've been in, it's like, okay, well, 3 squares a meal. It's like, it's like, okay, I cut one meal up in 3 pieces. I get 3 squares a day. It's like, it's just circumstance. And you look back and you laugh. At least I do. I laugh and I smile and I think, wow, I never had so much fun in my life as it was traveling on the road and enjoying different cities and different circumstances and not internationally.
Cultures too. You're dealing with cultures and you're dealing with a lot of different business minds, different mindsets when you're traveling, touring in other countries. So it's been an inspiration for us. In fact, so much in our book that we had to put like 10 10 hardcore tips that we could give out for free to your audience. It's on our website, DEO Speaks.
Fantastic.
And so they can utilize and put those 10 tips to use for your business today. And it doesn't cost you anything. All it takes you to click on and take a look and download and start utilizing.
And they're always welcome. We work with students all the time. I work with small businesses all the time. So if they have questions, they're welcome to reach out to us. We're happy to share anything that we know.
That's right.
We got a lot of people here, and then Gabe is saying, so it's about taking action, executing well, and being creative with intention. Absolutely.
I love that, Gabe.
Absolutely.
So well said.
That's well said.
A+.
Yeah.
Gabe, well said, my friend.
And he also asks, what is the writing process for you guys? Did you have an outline for the book, or did you develop the narrative as you went along? That's a great question, Gabe.
Yeah, that's a great
By the way,
Great question.
So
Gabe has made from scratch business broadcasts. He has evenings. I start the morning, he starts the evenings. So he'd be a great connection to also promote the book. But let me put that up there again. So the book outline, how did you process that?
Well, yeah, we definitely started with an outline, and we already had the story to tell. Remember, we already had the 31 years under our belt. So we started the outline, we developed the outline. And then what was really helpful for us is I had a reading team. So I had colleagues of mine that read the book. They were our reading team. And the first pass of the book, they sent it back to me and they said, yeah, you are putting us to sleep. Because I'm an academic writer and I'm a published writer, but in academia. So my work is in journals, academic journals. And that just wasn't working for the lay people. So
and I'm much more visual.
Yeah. So their information was really useful because it told us we weren't going to be able to get to the people that we were targeting. So they said, you need to put the stories first and then the tips at the end. And that worked out really, really well. And because Don is so visual and he is so story oriented, he grew up in his dad's barbershop. So you can imagine, right?
Storyteller, right?
Yeah.
Storyteller from getting on.
Exactly.
So we started utilizing his talent and then my talent, my background in business, and we merged them together in that book. And that, I think, is really what made it a successful book today.
Yeah. Plus, we started it off with action. So you're just right from the very beginning, you're in action.
We're flying into Charles de Gaulle as a shoe bomber.
We're flying into Afghanistan and nobody knows you're coming. These are great stories that turned into business success stories.
Yes.
That's why we told them.
I mean, we were actually lost in Afghanistan. We were off the radar during the war. They did not know that we were there.
Welcome to New Year's Eve. Where are you guys from?
As the Jordanian minesweepers are detonating bombs behind us. So it
was quite unique. So we have several stories to tell, but what's better is that people can actually utilize them for their business or their startups. And it's great insight for them because, like I said, it saves them a lot of time and makes it success for them. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. What is if there's a common thread that travels with you throughout your journey in this, the entrepreneurial, the musical, the creativity, and just being able to experience this life, what's the thread that pulls through that an entrepreneur could take away and say, that's the direction I want to go? Is there a thing that stands out as you go through this book or this experience?
I think there's a lot of things, but I think one of the primary, you have to balance joy with hard work and with creativity. But I know for me, it's about being able to capitalize on talent. And not just our talent, but the talent around us, people that are working with us. I think it's important to know as a leader when to step back and let other people lead because they may have more experience and expertise in certain situations that we get in. And so that's something that we had to learn as well. The best leaders are the ones that will step back and know when to step back and let other leads, just like the best teachers are the best students, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of both. And customer is king. You have to have an outstanding product all the time, not half the time.
We're always about that relationship.
Over deliver,
Yeah.
whether it's product, whether it's additional services. we've had our clients, some of our clients for 30 years, and they keep coming back to us. And there's a reason they keep coming back. We care about them, and we make sure that they know we care about them.
Plus, we always update our product line. We don't become stagnant. A lot of people become comfortable with where they are at. We've never become comfortable. We learned a long time ago, don't do that.
We've done that.
We've done that. And it didn't work out too well.
We've made so many mistakes, and they're all in the book.
Yeah.
They're all in the book. 31 cents to 43 countries is about all the things that could have gone wrong, and we turned into a positive, and it made it a 31 years of business with people we would never expected to keep those relationships. But because our entrepreneurship and foresight to see ahead, it really has always made us pioneers in our field.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I want to give a shout out to a few of the pirates that are in the room today. Angie's here.
Hey, Angie.
Angie's in the room. Say hi to Andrew. He's here today.
Hey.
Finally, a free day to check in and listen.
Yeah, I love it. Gabe.
We've met Gabe. Thank you, Gabe, for all the great questions. Lori's here. Good morning. And connect with
Lori, great.
Yeah.
Hyatt Ives in from Houston. He's
here. We love him.
Our son's in Austin.
Yeah.
All right.
David Munford is in here in the room.
Good to meet
Dennis.
you.
Dennis is here.
Dennis.
Hi.
Yeah, Marines.
I tuned in. I heard Marines. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to connect more on that. That's for sure.
Srinivas is here. Greetings. Foundation from India.
Love it.
He's in there. You've probably been that part of the world. Let's see.
Beautiful picture too there.
Craig Byrne. Bernie Byrne.
Hey.
Hey, Craig. How you doing? Thanks for being here.
Welcome to being the pirate guy out this morning.
Yeah. Taking massive action and failing forward fast. F3, he says. Dennis says F3.
Yeah.
Absolutely, positively. There's some things that you mentioned before we started the call that you said the book and you have music that goes along with the book. Talk a little bit about how that fits together and how entrepreneurs can learn from the overall immersion in this experience. How does that fit together?
Yes, I think it's about connecting your different product lines so that they work together. So now you're offering your clients more than just one type of product. So it's just an extension. I call it a product line extension, and you can do it many ways. You can do an upward stretch, a downward stretch. You can fill, add widths, different sizes. But for us, we took our music and we merged it because we write songs every time we go out on tour, because we also do master classes in music. And so we teach our students, whatever country we go to, we teach them our music. We learn from them as well. We learn their music, and then we come together and we'll perform.
And then we also make a music video of that. So we show that we're connecting with people. We're touching people and they're touching us. So it's reciprocated back and forth, and people see that, and what joy of music. I mean, come on, that makes everybody happy.
And as we're telling these stories in the book, I'm like, Don, our songs fit perfectly with the book because we wrote these songs about our experiences during this journey that we're sharing with everybody.
So they're in the audio book, which makes it great. And then there's links to our ebook to the songs as well. And
of course to the album too. So and our videos are matching too. So we have our Field of Blue, which talks about our military experience, working with the military and the armed forces. Then we have Get Back to You, which is about our State Department tour and our work in Fiji and Kiribati.
We just released I Can't Wait, since everybody can't travel. We wrote a song called I Can't Wait, and it's about all the places we've toured and been to and how the people have touched us around the world. So it's been a happy, joyful when people see it. It's like it brings so much warmth. You can see the faces just smiling because they remember this place. Yeah. Music does that. I mean, that's what we're about, is really touching people.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And, I still, sit down once in a while and I'll create music because, with the tools we have now on the computer, it's a different experience than playing drums. It's a different experience for me. However, it still brings me joy when I can just fiddle around and play some music. So
you can tell just by looking at your smile.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, and you have these experiences, and doing different activities and all of that impact of the experience, and you can bring with you and carry on. And thank you so much for putting in a book and videos and the audio. And so how is the best way for people to reach out and connect with you and get your materials and experience this whole process? What's your preferred way?
Well, you can reach us for speaking, deospeaks.com.
Okay.
And the Dina Preston Band, DINAPreston.com, or band.com, DinaPrestonBand.com. And then LinkedIn, of course. That's our big line right there. We've been there for a long time. We got a stronghold. We'd love to have people reach out to us. And then, of course, our book, 31 Cents to 43 Countries, Hardcore Tips to Increasing Profits. You can find that on Amazon, and also our videos on YouTube. You can see
find us anywhere.
You can find us on all your favorite platforms, Spotify, Pandora, iTunes. We're there, out there for the masses. And the big thing is we want to continue touching people and make a difference. That's really our story.
And if we can help in any way, any of our friends out there, feel free to pick up the phone or to type us or text us.
To find out how we write a book and things like that, we'd love to help anybody out there, especially now. You got to give back right now.
Well, I have, as you know, the Pirate Broadcast is kind of the experiment for the Pirate Syndicate, and the Pirate Syndicate is designed to help others create courses and put information out there for live streaming and content creation and some things that are out there. So I'm growing that, and I'd love the opportunity to talk to you about that and how we can contribute and work together, because I just know that there are so many things that we can do. And, as you grow your YouTube channel out, or you grow your podcast, or whatever it happens to be that you pick, it's always nice to do it with friends and people that have an experience that you can relate to, you can understand, you can communicate. And we're all in this together. This whole pandemic in 2020, everybody wants to look back on 2020. So, and I don't think at January 1st, it's just going to magically change.
No, it's not.
So what are your goals? So what are your goals for 2021? And what are you looking forward to as entrepreneurs in the near future, and maybe 18 months down the road? What is it you're searching for in that area?
We're already talking about touring, and of course speaking to promote the book as well as our music, and touring is definitely the way. I mean, the whole world right now is dying to be entertained.
We're locked down, and so people want. I mean, it's tough. People want to get out, so we're setting ourselves up now so that when that happens, it's going to explode, and we're going to be ready to go. So we're already working with an agent out of Florida. So hopefully we can go on tour. Back out on tour and do what we do best and love best, right?
You keep making people happy. I mean, that's the big thing, bringing joy to other people's lives. Yeah. We've been doing that for 31 years, and it will continue. It's that simple. You can't stop us from making people happy.
It's funny that you say that, because there's nothing more. For myself, there's nothing more satisfying in the world than looking out at an audience and knowing that people are having a good time, enjoying the experience together. And it's really, really exciting to hear you guys and some of the stories. And I know we could probably sit for hours and talk about
on one story. Yeah. How many times have we been lost?
How many times you've been off the radar? Nobody knows you're coming. It's amazing. How do you fix it and make it a success story? That's why we had to tell our story through the book, because people do strive for success, and we want to help.
And I think ultimately, too, Don hasn't talked about this, but his goal, I know his goal because he's shared it with me, is he'd really like to make our book our stories into a documentary or some sort of mini-series of some sort, because there's so much that happens.
Well, plus it's history. When you're talking about history, you're looking at it from another angle that somebody's perspective hasn't covered before. And we're well on that mark. Because of our stories and where we've been, through music.
And the military, we've worked a lot with the military overseas.
I have so many people to actually ask us, are you guys part of the military? It's like, no, you would think so. We've been contractors this whole time. But we know what it's like to go through the protocols and etiquettes of getting on base, off base, what it's like to fly in, cargo, shipping.
A lot of the feedback we're getting on Amazon is, wow, we had no idea from a contractor standpoint, from a USO band standpoint, what you guys are experiencing. We had no idea that you went through all of this just to bring shows out to us, on a flatbed somewhere out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. In fact, we just had been recognized on a USO monument here in Arizona, along with the names of Lucille Ball, Mickey Rooney, Jane Russell, and the Doublemint twins. So who would have thought we'd be on a monument, let alone the world's only USO monument right here in Arizona?
We are
fantastic.
Our friends call us the most famous, unfamous band in the world.
Well, I appreciate you, and I want to thank you so much for being here and being part of the pirate community. I know that I wish you all the success in your adventures and in your travels. And if there's anything I can do to add value to your day or help along the journey, please don't hesitate.
And it's reciprocal.
That's right. We're a pirate now.
Thank you.
You're pirates now. You're a pirate crew.
And your community too.
That's right.
It was wonderful talking with you and your community.
Merry Christmas.
So much
Happy New Year to everybody out there, by the way.
Yes, and happy holidays to everybody.
Yes, absolutely. And as everyone knows, kindness is cool. Smiles are free.
Even with braces.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I look forward to the rest of the week and looking forward to the rest of the year and enjoying all of the pirates in the pirate community. And thank you so much for being here. Don, Dina, appreciate you. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the